We are live, and there's Joey. It's weird because kangaroos aren't native to the United States.
Okay, that's strange.
Joey, baby kangaroo. God.
Right.
It took me a second.
Welcome, lads, lasses, and MB badasses. Is another week. Remember, a work week is sufficient. The week is sufficient. Work week is W. So you can get rid of it if you really want to. This is just an Alchemy.
I'm always working building shit, so I'm always on the job.
I'm always building shit too, but in a very different way.
When I'm not working at
literal poop.
Well, that's the thing about that. It may look like I'm knowing nothing, but actually, at the cellular level, I'm really quite busy. Cells dividing all the time, as or two. And right now I'm busy to figure out the blurb I'm gonna say to promote the show on social media, then promote it to social media and all the discords I'm in. So don't mind me talking about.
Let's see. Well, Trump is talking about a third term. And the Supreme Court will let him do that.
They arrested a guy who had an autism awareness tattoo.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Oh, I did not hear about that one.
Which means I'm going to start buying a gun because fuck this.
Is not surprising. Yeah, I can quickly link to Butter Jones' article into the live chat.
Well, he was brown and he was deported to an El Salvadoran prison. That literally Trump is selling people into slavery in El Salvador.
Oh yeah, that's why I said I'm going to get a gun because I'm not going to be a slave again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, come at me, dude. Come at me.
Lay down the music and play that funky music, white boy. Because that's our music. The music of white people is slavery.
I'm I'm ready to I will defend myself. I don't give a shit about anything else in this room that I have. I will defend myself and I will defend my friends. So 90s culture, whatever I like, be damned. I'm going to my life, my survival, my friend's survival comes first above anything else. So if people are starting to whisk people away, I don't like guns, but because I already know what people are gonna say. It's if it happens, oh, he was anti, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. If there's people out there who are willing to put you away, to send you to a place like that, and it's either that or accept whatever the fuck that is, then I'm gonna fight back. No, I you are.
If I had the money for a gun, I'd do the same thing, Isaiah.
You are physically.
All you really need is $50 and a friend who can break into someone's house and open a safe. Don't do stochastic breaking and entering.
Vandalism.
I was actually looking at guns from Academy, the sports company. $500. That's not bad. But I hate the idea of having to defend myself with a firearm. But if that's where this is going, then I'm not going to not defend myself. I don't give a fuck what DeSantis says. I don't give a fuck what Floridians have to say. No, that's no. That's not happening. That's not happening.
His role is misquoting Shakespeare in the chat.
Yep, there's something rotten in the state of the USA to misquote Shakespeare. Exactly.
I'm pretty sure the US is just rotten to the core. Always has been, and deliberately.
Yeah.
Imperialism will do that to you.
Yeah. Hey, Mister, we learned from you. We learned from the British.
And then we taught it to the Nazis.
Unfortunately, yes, we did.
Anyway, how's everyone else doing today?
Almost poor. Or more,
You're not almost poor. You're on the other side of poor. You're $40,000 ante beyond poor.
Negative $25,000 and negative $25,000 income. Yes.
I have 25 grand. Someone once told me that I had 25 grand in college debt, but I never did a 4-year university, so I don't know where they got that from. I did go to film school one time, and I got that all through a Pell Grant, so
There you go.
I'm hoping it quits snowing before I have to take the little road trip tomorrow.
It's raining. It's gonna rain today, which is
it's raining
like
here.
snow, only wetter.
It's raining here in Florida, but that's not really that uncommon.
No, it was raining here in Seattle not too long ago, but that's what Seattle's known
definitely
for.
not uncommon.
It is.
Yeah, I mean,
like
Florida, basically, you get the warm, wet air rising up off the Gulf Stream. You get the winds pushing it over Florida. And Florida is basically like an accident where water temporarily doesn't happen. So the air goes up a little bit, cools down enough, and it rains every day when it's warm out. I lived in Florida for a year. I know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's well, I've lived there all my life, so I've kind of gotten used to it. Although I wouldn't really want to live anywhere else because I do like water. So
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the assholes who live here, Florida would be like Biosphere 2. It's like it's like a biosphere. I don't know. Like we have a lot of national parks and shit. I'm going to the Kennedy Space Center.
Isn't that where you just live now, or is that where you just want to live?
I thought about living down there, but the cost of living is pretty expensive, and
Oh yeah, that's
not the only like. I mean, I don't know. Like I've lived in Tallahassee all my life. I have people here. My family's mostly dead. They don't really live here, but I do have family, like friends who live here.
Oh yeah, found family is definitely family. Yeah.
So yeah, it makes it hard to just jump ship because I just block it.
Mithra was asking where your road trip is to, Joey. I'm guessing it's the grocery store.
I am headed down to my reservation, which is about 300 miles away from where I live, to renew my tribal ID.
Okay.
My son is going too, and I'm hoping my other son gets time off work so he can go too.
Yes.
We're all their IDs, my ID, we're all like 25 years.
Let's see.
Like they're old. They need to be.
I'm trying to find out. See, what is the conspiracy theory that Republicans believe your tribal ID gives you? Casino money? Do you have access to the secret gold in the Federal Reserve? Can you cast the evil eye?
I wish.
Can you turn into a deer?
Did you actually do the hand on your mouth thing? Where that you guys know what I'm talking about?
Actually, no, I don't.
No,
that's
idea.
a white people thing.
So they do.
Excuse me, I'm gonna go call my HOA over that comment.
Okay, so well here in Florida, so we have a team called the Seminoles, a football team, and they do the tomahawk chop where they do.
Yeah, I know the Seminoles decided that they were gonna lend their name to the local team, and I'm like, that is a big mistake. Big mistake.
Yeah.
They were like, but hey, you got money now. But no culture. But here's some money for a bunch of drunk ass fucking frat boys to.
Yep.
I know, right?
I'm pretty sure they stole that from the Cleveland Indians. But the Florida State, at least their mascot is, I believe they get actual tips from the tribe on how to dress and dance authentically.
It's Chief Osceola. That's his name.
Unlike, I believe it's Indiana, which is just some white guy doing random bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's not as controversial down here as like other Native American inspired, like Native American, like offensive Native
Because it's
American.
based on an actual tribe, and they do kind of try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I don't
that,
mind, but it's just the people. Although my favorite state outside of Florida is probably, I gotta say, I have a thing
Probably
for
Iowa, because that's where Kirk is from.
Yeah, I have a thing. I have a weird Pennsylvania for some reason. I
that,
like
we're- hold on, I didn't hear you. You kind of like repeat that again. You like what?
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. I can have a
Oh,
soft
okay.
spot.
Any
A
reason
lot
why,
of,
or is it
lot of.
just the shape?
It's just like cause like I've been there. I went there once. It's like steeped in that colonial Gothic
Mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like how there's Southern Gothic down here. It's like
mm.
colonial Gothic up there.
Yeah, they got those old colonial farmhouses.
Yeah.
I was a little kid there, so I do have a fondness for the rolling hills and the forests. But
Oh, and 3 Mile Island is over there.
yeah,
So
that's something to be proud of.
not to be proud of, but if you're someone like me who likes to go to like dark, shitty places to like morbid history, hey,
Yeah, that's the U.S.
there's actually a slave like cemetery actually right in so there's a neighborhood here called Benton Hills. It's like where a lot of rich, wealthy white folks live, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a slave cemetery right next to a bank and across from a Goodwill bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
And that the Benton Hills neighborhood that I just talked about, they
Mm.
didn't allow black people there until like the 70s, I think.
Yep,
uh,
that tracks.
in the 70s, that's when they were forced to admit that legally they have to allow black people there. They
Yeah.
still don't allow black people there,
Mm-hmm.
in practical terms.
So it's so bizarre.
Hey,
Yeah.
guess what president was forced by the U.S. government in the 70s to rent to black people?
Oh, Donald Trump.
Yes. How did you know?
It all the
It
time. But there's
is well, it's just like okay, a president that was owns real estate and was a landlord. Oh wait,
President
our
who's
current one,
openly racist.
who's openly racist and white supremacist. Yes.
a lot of black people that voted for Trump. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
There's a lot of indigenous people who voted for Trump as they are like literally descending on Native American pages.
Mm.
Really? Are you I don't know. Like is it because Trump is a celebrity? Like he's always been a celebrity.
I think that that is a big part
Yeah.
of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Apprentice like humanized the asshole.
Yeah.
He
Well,
said so himself that like when after he was doing the apprentice as well too, people started coming up to him. I thought you were like not a good person, but like I see you on television now, I kind of like you more. It's like, oh, people didn't like me as enough, but they liked me on the apprentice as well.
New
So
Yorkers
like,
always hated him. But I
yeah.
think a lot of people voted for him just because everything sucks and the Democrats aren't helping. And
yeah.
his
Well,
rhetoric
there's a
does
lot
make it
of
sound
like
like he's going to break things, and maybe that'll
there's a
help.
lot of Native Americans who literally voted for him because they knew that he was going to break everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
they were rooting against the United States,
Mm.
and so they voted for him because he's such an asshole and so inept.
So Joey, it's so like the way you described it is basically like they voted. It's like they voted for him just to make white people look just make an ass of themselves. Is that kind of why a lot of them voted for him?
Kind of, yeah, that's a big piece of the issue for a lot of Native Americans. They're just a lot of natives registered to vote specifically to vote for Trump for that reason. I'm not
Ouch.
saying all the Trump supporters among Native Americans
Yeah.
are like that, but
So
there's a healthy number.
this
Some
yeah,
of
I
them
can
are
see.
like the white lady who pretended to be Native American on that Netflix show,
Which one?
Kimmy Schmidt.
Then okay,
You know,
the name's not familiar to me.
The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. There was a white woman from 30 Rock, who was she pretended to be a Native American who could pass for white and therefore decided that she was white. She was Lakota, I think.
I've seen that.
I never seen that episode.
I mean, she's one
I
of the
don't
main
think
characters
I've
on the
ever
show.
seen any episode of The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
I watched like half of the season, I think.
Yeah.
It's by the same people who made 30 Rock, so it's got Tina Fey, and the white woman from 30 Rock.
Amy Poehler.
No, a different one, I think.
Joey Deschanel? No, she wasn't in that.
It's because Tina Fey is the white woman from 30 Rock.
I'm talking about the blonde actress who was one of the actresses in the show within a show.
Yeah, I remember the
Jane Krakowski.
Wait, she was on Ally McBeal too.
That might be true. I've heard of Ally McBeal. I've never seen it.
I actually did watch all of like Ally McBeal when it was like airing as well too.
I watched clips of it, but mostly just to see those wacky ass fucking like animations where like her tongue is like.
Oh yeah,
Schmidt got 4 seasons, maybe 5.
No, apparently. But yeah, I wasn't. No, she wasn't Ellen McBeal throughout like all like 112 episodes. Oh well, yeah. So like Ellen McBeal that had a lot of episodes.
But watching that shit now, it's like it looks creepy. But back then, it was like, oh, this is funny.
Yeah. That was like a figment of like Ellen McBeal's imagination as she used the titular character. So we see like how her reaction to like things as well too, and they use like effects to like digitize that sort of thing too. And like I don't know if any other like TV shows at the time were willing to use the budget to use like computer generated like graphics to like do that sort of thing too. Yep. So yeah.
Well, some of that, although I do like some of that because I am a sucker for vintage graphics. So, like if you've ever seen like Star Trek TNG episodes, sometimes they would have the ship go like this, and then they'll spin it around like that.
Yeah, because like because the model was not moving at all. It was the camera that was moving.
They learned from George Lucas.
Yep, they perfect that technique.
I think we should.
He invented that technique.
I think we should bring that stuff back because it shows you how like corny it is, but also this is what they had to work with. And as someone who doesn't have a lot of friends or resources, I have to do a lot of like I can't 3D print shit. I have to make physical models of stuff and tweak it and then make another physical model and do all that. So I'm very practical and hands-on with a lot of my stuff.
I mean, if you're willing to breathe plastic, you could 3D print shit. You just have to buy a 3D printer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think Hollywood's just going to use generative AI to like make those like kind of things before they'll like go back to like models.
And you're going to have a Star Trek ship with 5 feet.
What?
With 5 feet, because generative AI just like doesn't know how to like make anything.
It doesn't know when to stop making feet or fingers.
Hi, Phoenix. Hello.
Hey, Phoenix.
One thing is just like, is there anyone in the call that should not be? Is there a journalist in here that like shouldn't be in the secretive like single call for like war plans and anything like that? Because that's what happened.
Joey's
like,
wearing a hat. I think Joey might be a journalist.
I don't blame the journalist who was accidentally randomly added to like a single chat. It's just like, this gotta be a prank, right?
I would have stayed in there and said some shit.
Yeah.
No, I would have stayed in there, stayed silent, and just collected shit.
Oh yes,
exactly like that journalist did with Pete Heggs had leaked. Fucking goddamn it. I mean, the thing is, he probably just got done beating his wife, had a couple of beers, and decided to share sensitive information with an unsecured channel.
Pete Heggs, keg's breath, as I've heard people say.
But no, so many people have talked about that. Like one of the interesting thing is like Donald Trump was not in that single group chat as well too, and yet like they even mentioned that like do we have approval for these strikes as well too? And I don't remember exactly what Stephen Miller said as well too. I think he said something like we can go on this as well too, or like yeah. So I don't even it's probably like and it's something that Robert Emerson brings up on like it can happen here as well too, that like there was always a saying in like Nazi Germany, if only the Führer would know. Believing that like there was a lot of people that kind of like this wouldn't happen if like Hitler was actually knew as well too, but a lot of people just like act on like instinct as like and believe that well this is what Hitler would want as well too. And I think Stephen Miller kind of like knows that instinctively and say, I think Trump would go with this. And we would bomb Yemen and no conversation in the media, in the mainstream media about, wait a minute, why are we bombing Yemen again? I mean, have we bombed Yemen enough as we're to? But anyway, as I you have your
they're Muslims, so apparently they're bad. See, whenever I see people like Hex Breath, Netanyahu wanting to genocide Palestinians and all that, I'm just like, thank God I'm an atheist because I wake up every morning not having to hate someone who is a different religion than I am. Okay, it's like for people like
I kind of hate all the religious people equally, though.
yeah, that's true.
I
You're
mean,
right.
they all suck, and none of them can stop raping children.
I just want
I
them,
know, right?
I just want them to shut up about, people going to hell, even though most of them are going to hell for how they act. But
oh no, they're not going to hell because
That's because there is no
Jesus
hell.
Christ. Well, yeah, there's that too.
no,
That's fair.
I was just saying like I wish it's like, nerds, we have passionate disagreements. Like some people would ask, like, who's better, Captain Kirk or Han Solo? You know, but like I like Captain Kirk more, but I wouldn't kill a Star Wars fan who liked Captain like Han Solo better. Although I do think Kirk is better than I don't know.
Oh, no, I'm going with Han Solo because I don't think Han Solo has actually assaulted like as many people as like Kirk has done.
Good point. Heretic!
On screen, Han Solo only ever once cornered Leia and forced a kiss on her.
Right.
Sure, yes.
Or
Exactly.
almost
That's
forced a
that.
kiss on her.
Yeah,
She was
fuck
very
that.
uncomfortable.
Right.
Kirk, did he ever actually force anyone?
You know what? Maybe not. I thought I'd rewatch
I mean,
the
Gene
show.
Roddenberry is definitely a rapist and would have written Kirk as a rapist.
He never forced, from what I can tell, but he was definitely very cringe with how he approached women.
Well, yeah, that was the 60s. Men were all cringe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yes.
hate all religious people. We can, but oh God. A lot of the loud ones are complete assholes.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, just bigots and like worse and rapists as well too, and yet like yeah, there's a part of me that wants to say I was actually just asked this like between like Captain Kirk or Jean-Luc Picard, which I prefer. And I say Benjamin Sisko, but that's a whole nother topic we'll do.
That's a good. I have to say Picard. But if we're adding Cisco, it's going to be Cisco.
Yeah. More men should like be cringe in like an endearing way. Yeah. Well, I mean, like us, we are just like I guess to some people we are cringe in.
Oh no, I'm
ways.
just cringe, but not in an endearing way.
Well, that's because you're also an asshole, and you are proud of being an asshole. You hate it when you're like only said you're kind of an asshole.
Because I try, goddammit. I'm working on it. And Siobhan's here. Hello.
No, I don't think we can hear you. So, like,
I think it's frozen.
Yeah.
No, I have it turned off.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Yes.
I'm not feeling very well today, so.
Hi, Siobhan.
No problem. So we have just mentioned about like the single chat with the war plans as well too, and the fist pump emojis and American flag and hell yeah and that sort of thing too. And it's just like
so childish when they did that. That was so childish.
They have never. We have administration that is run by a bunch of college frat boys.
Yep. Racist. Openly racist. Openly white supremacist. Literally college frat boys because they're all like 20.
we're lucky that they're as ignorant and ill-informed and incredibly inept as they are.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
if they weren't, we would be.
And now we see why DEI is necessary. Because fascism could only succeed if they were competent.
Yeah. And again, we were just like bombing Yemen because like retaliation against the Houthis for like the blockades they have like done as well
Because it's
too.
there.
Yeah,
And Trump is mad at
honestly,
Putin.
Also, well,
So our policy on Ukraine is about to be 100% reversed.
about the Houthis, though, do Americans like do they know who the Houthis are, or they're just confused? with
People
Houthi-
my age do, because that was when Rwanda was happening. The Hutus and Tutsis.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They're confused with they're confused. No, I mean the Houthis in Yemen.
Some people your
Because I
age
was-
do.
Because I was
Some.
wondering. Because I'm sure a lot of Americans were thinking, did Darius Rucker join Al Qaeda?
Right.
Houthi in a, okay.
Oh, Hootie and the Blowfish. Okay, I was like, who the fuck is that? And as a guy my age, I should have known that name,
You ask
probably.
the average person on the street, quote unquote, you ask them if they're under 40, what Al Qaeda was, or especially if they're under 30, what Al Qaeda is.
Yeah.
Or I literally had a conversation with a guy when I was working at Wally World who
Hollywood?
was a Trump supporter.
It's a giant dildo place.
And he is a Trump supporter, and so we were having, because it was at work, a polite conversation, you know, especially polite on my part. But anyway, and I said something to the effect of, this is a couple of years ago, obviously, but 4 or 5 years ago, but I said something to the effect of, it was during the Trump's first terror administration, and I said, you know, he's even acting like Russia's a friend, and this guy looked at me and he said, "What's wrong with Russia?"
Where to begin?
And he's about
They
a decade-
don't have good
He should have
pancakes.
had at least a clue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's about a decade younger than I am, and he's the type that, you know, thank you for your service and whatever. So I said, first of all, the fact that you know, I said maybe I'm biased because I was in the military when I risked my life, living, you know, liberty, pursuit of happiness, all that other bullshit, in Germany, in the cold. And the blank look on his face was like, my first thought, immediate thought was like, do I even want to continue pursuing this? Because
Probably not.
the amount of education
I
necessary.
didn't know we had ice guns.
Yeah, exactly. And
Is
I
that
said,
how they control the weather, them Jews? Is that how they do that?
I said,
That was the space laders.
I said, I'll tell you what, you go home and you look up the reasons, top 10 reasons the United States does not like Russia, for example. This is circa 2017 or 18 or so. And I said, you look up the top 10 reasons the United States doesn't like Russia, or there's problems between two countries, or however you want to phrase it, okay, and then get back to me on it. And he never did, of course.
Yeah.
It's because Americans can't read.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I'm not going to dog somebody who can't read because a lot of people have difficulties with that. Okay, I myself have some difficulties sometimes.
I'm
Even though I'm
dyslexic.
an author and a mouthy ass. But
No, I'm saying that a lot of
a
Americans
lot
are
of
just
Americans
functionally illiterate.
don't want to read.
Well, yeah, there's that.
They don't want to. It isn't necessarily they don't want to read. They don't want to make the effort to learn.
Yeah.
Okay. And this isn't a boomer, even though I'm a boomer. This isn't oh my God, back in my day. Because no, because back in my day, there were just as many dumbass motherfuckers that did the same thing. They don't want to do anything but sit in their little homes and listen to whatever their current demagogue tells them what to do and what to think.
Yeah,
And be okay with that. They don't want to have to think.
Vaughn, can I add something to that?
No, go ahead.
I was saying I agree with you. Like even sounding intelligent, people don't like it. Like there was one time where like just the way I talk, I got shit for a lot of black folks because I don't talk Ebonics, so people would just think, okay,
yeah.
like
One of my cousins and one of my nephews, they're both pretty much the same, kind of sort of like you. in the respect that they're geeks and whatever. And that's not a for the audience out there, that's not a criticism. I had a conversation with my youngest daughter about 20 minutes on the phone. We weren't arguing mad, but joking around, but as to whether or not she was a geek, a dork, or a nerd. And I said the fact that we're having this conversation means one of the three.
Yes, exactly. I can confirm.
But
Yes.
yeah, the whole it's kind of sort of there's a perception among wealthier people that it has turned around and that the smarter kids are now Joy doesn't 41 and they're now applauded more and accepted more. And that might be true in some of the more elite academies and schools and whatever, but in general America, it's not.
Hey Isaiah, how are you?
Yeah, I got shit
nerd?
growing up for not having a reservation accent every time I went back to the res. But at the same time, you can give somebody shit about their accent, and then that person turns around and says, "Well, I'm from California. What kind of accent do you think I'm gonna have?"
Right.
What'd you say, John?
Yeah, we're talking about how nerds are lauded in the academy, not necessarily elsewhere. How are you treated as a black nerd?
By who? By black folks or just people in general?
I was going within the black community.
I haven't had I don't really talk to a lot of black people, to be honest. But I mean, growing up, I got made fun of by my family more than other black folks. Because like there was one, because like when I was in middle school, I would always read Carl Sagan's Cosmos, big ass book he made, and I didn't get shit from people at school because everyone was like, "Oh, he's really smart. He likes to read." Which, okay, I could be an idiot. I could just be liking to read. I don't see myself as smarter than other people. Like people who are musicians, I think are smarter than I am because I can't read music worth a shit.
Oh yeah, smarter than you within their talent of like music as well too.
A lot of intelligence is just training.
Like Chapel Run can read music, I can't. So she has a skill that I lack. So
exactly. But you can build like models and like I put lights in them as well too. That's definitely like a talent I have not perfected. Hey Limpy, but like Phoenix in chat has also said is echoing what you're saying, Isaiah, from like their experience as well too. I'm a nerdy. I'm a nerd with geeky tendencies, and their classmates
sometimes act as they were biracial.
Yeah, but no, both parents are black as well too.
A lot of black people are very light skinned because of reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a lot of shit from home, which is kind of funny because my dad was a Trekkie. He was kind of a superhero person, but whoa.
No, Siobhan just finally they found the show as well too. That's where that comes from as well too, Isaiah.
Okay.
Hey, Joey, is there a term for res folk who think that you're not being Indian enough, sort of like a Twinkie or coconut?
Oh yeah, they call them apples.
Apples.
Interesting.
Red on the outside, white on the inside.
White on the inside.
Oh, I get it. It's also like an egg for people who are like oh, okay. That's like an egg, right?
Or for, as one of my friends informed me, for Asian people, bananas.
Oh, yep, that's it.
No, not necessarily an egg, Isaiah. It's for people who are accused of having the melanin but not the mentality.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a lot of shit. Like I got shit from my brother. Because like my brother, because it was like this was like the early 2000s, so the whole hip hop stuff, like my brother was into like Bone Thugs and Harmony, and like my dad would listen to like Rick of the Edmund Fitzgerald, so it's like, and like I got a lot of music from my father who I never got along with.
Well, Rick of the Edmund Fitzgerald is the national song of Michigan. You know that, right?
Oh, I didn't, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's Gordon Lightfoot is very much celebrated here in general. Obviously, I mean, some people have never heard of him, whatever, but especially my generation or around my generation.
It's talking about Detroit, Lake Ontario.
Yeah, also culturally as well, because I am a Michigan Irish redneck.
Mhm.
Some of those qualifications, in short, are, I have taken home and eaten things that I've hit with my car. I have sat on the ice, 14 inches of ice, and waited for hours for food to swim by.
Mm.
I have gone to weddings, literally gone to weddings where people have worn camouflage.
Ah.
I don't
You know,
mind.
I'm a member of the Polar Bear Club.
Ah, nice. So that's where
My
you
senior
go out
prom
to
was
like.
at a rifle club.
The what?
My senior prom was at a rifle club.
Yeah.
Always wanted
So when I was growing up, I started reading when I, obviously age level, but I started reading on my own when I was 4. And by the time I was, of course, this was back in the dinosaur days. Okay, so I turned 9 just a few months after the moon landing. Okay, so of course there was a lot of lead up to the moon,
Old.
publicity and whatever else. Okay, so that kind of kicked my love. I've been reading science fiction for literally over half a century. So that kicked in my love of that, and I already kind of like science and whatever anyway. By age 11 I was reading college level science fiction. And so the culturally where I grew up, if you want to think of the classical stereotype, negative stereotypes of the rednecks, that's what I grew up in, just flat out. I had many
Northern
people,
rednecks. Northern
I had
rednecks are
many,
slightly different from southern rednecks.
yeah,
Southern rednecks don't go ice fishing.
yeah, many members of my family.
conducive
I've been in prison for selling meth. Few
Well,
members,
that's a
Oh.
southern redneck thing.
yeah, few members of my family have died from overdoses on meth.
Southern rednecks.
One of them that came home, he was staying with me and found him on the floor dead. That was an
Mm.
experience.
That's
So I have all that. And when I was growing up, not only did I get the shit beat out of me on a regular basis, well, I mean, even aside from the abuse at home, and I've gone into that a little bit on previous shows, so I won't go into it in great detail, but you had that at home, and then you had that at school. And then on top, just because of what I looked like, and the fact that I was a skinny child all the time, and wasn't very healthy when I was younger, and plus effeminate. And then you also add on top of that my love of reading. Reading was my escape. I remember probably 3 to 4 nights a week when I was in high school. 3 to 4 nights a week I spent after I got out of school, went straight to the library and read for 3 or 4 hours, and then went home. We could avoid a lot of family issues for one. Plus I love to read too, and so I was always that outcast and whatever, and looked upon as not as smarter than other people, but as somehow, me thinking that I was smarter than other people. And to be fair, in some respects, I was. I mean, just flat out was, you know. But it wasn't a case of like I was a super genius. That's part of the problem. I wasn't a super genius, and I didn't consider myself to be a genius, and I never have in any way, shape, or form. But I talk to people, because I'm fairly semi-fluent in Spanish, a little bit less in French. I know some words and phrases in about 8 other languages. And people around here, I know people around here that have never gone out of the county, my age, gone out of the county in their entire life, let alone the state, let alone, outside the country. And, another example, I never saw a black person in person at all until I was 16. And we had a family move in my town, my hometown, okay?
Yeah.
And there were 2 black students in the high school, and they were brother and sister. Everybody, there was probably about close to 1,000 people total, students total in the high school. Everybody else is white.
Yeah.
So that's the culture I grew up in.
Yeah,
I grew up with a high degree of diversity, but still there were a lot of people that I grew up with that didn't know I was Native American until we were like in 6th and 7th grade. And I had one friend like look at me because a teacher went, "We have a real Native American here in class." And everybody was like looking around at each other, like, "Who's the Native American in class?" And
Are you descended from Pocahontas?
"Joey." And my friend like looks at me and goes, "I thought you were all extinct with the buffalo."
Oh my
I mean,
God.
they
And I'm
tried.
like, "No,
That's
we're
why
both
they almost
alive as
extincted
well,
the
thank you."
buffalo.
Right.
My God in heaven.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Wow.
I thought you were
Yep.
Samoan. Isaiah, you have your hand up.
You know.
I'm trying to remember what I was going to. Oh, trying to remember what I was going to say. Fuck. I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
I got a question. I don't know if you have covered it in this particular show previously or not in the last hour or so. Has anybody done any talking about the signal chat?
Well, I did
Yep,
bring it up.
we mentioned it. We haven't really talked about it. We just made fun of it.
But okay.
I know.
Well, I have there's a couple of things that are added to that. Okay.
Mhm.
So you have the signal chat first of all, where dumb fuck McGee and all the other dumb fuck McGees in the administration, okay, are talking on
Yeah.
a signal chat.
Mhm.
And they accidentally invite this reporter. Okay, so now
Yeah.
at first they were trying to discredit the reporter,
Mhm.
saying, "Oh, well, you know, he shouldn't have been there." Well, you motherfuckers invited him. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But also on top of that, they're discussing war plans, and now they're saying it wasn't war plans. Yeah, it fucking was. Okay.
Mhm.
And then here's the other thing. Because a judge, whether or not they do it, a judge enjoined them from doing so. But in Signal, if anybody in the audience doesn't know, Signal is pretty much basically Facebook Messenger. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Except that you can also easily do groups. Okay.
Mhm.
But with Signal, you can set your messages to disappear. Either you know you don't have
Yeah.
them disappear at all, or they last a month and they go away, or they last a
Mhm.
week and go away, or whatever. So they had these messages set to disappear in 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Which-
exactly.
So first of all, it's a private server,
Mhm.
private as in not government run. Okay.
Yeah.
So butter emails. Okay, that was a big thing with the Republicans. Was, oh my God, Hillary's using a
Mhm.
private server for her
Are you
emails,
suggesting that the Republicans are hypocrites?
just
Mhm.
like these do. And then they had it set for the messages to disappear in 4 weeks. And also their passwords and stuff are easily found on the internet. I'm not going to say where, and I'm not going to say how, but they are easily found on the internet. If you have any inkling whatsoever of how to use the internet properly, okay, I've been researching the internet for 30 years almost. I know a lot of
I'm currently
the
Googling
highways and the
headsets
highways.
passwords.
I know a lot of the highways. So they have all that shit ahead of them. Now you got dumb fuck McGee, the alcoholic,
Mhm.
appoints his brother to replace the black guy that he fired just
Mhm.
because he's black. Okay, you can't do
Yep.
DEI. So then he appoints his brother, and he also brings his wife, who has she has no government role whatsoever, didn't have before. Okay, brings her to classified intelligence briefings. And
They're all Nepo babies.
yeah, well, that, you know, and it just boggles my mind the level of which the cult, because that's what it is. That's just what it fucking is. We're not talking about the leadership. We're not talking about Pete Hegseth, because he's probably usually so drunk that he couldn't spell the word cult anyway.
Peak Kegsect is the name. His name, nickname.
Express.
Whiskey leaks. Whiskey leaks. But anyway, so you got Pete Hegseth, you know, and you got all these elites, so to speak. Sure. Money people, they're not elite in any other way
Mhm.
in the government, but they know better. They know Trump is full of shit, okay, but they're making money off of it, okay.
Yeah.
And so then you have I'm sorry, I can't be, I'm not gonna be polite anymore. I'm tired of people beating around the bush. You have these dumbass ignorant motherfuckers that
Mhm.
are in the cult, okay, that swallow whatever bullshit that Trump puts out, whatever bullshit that the GOP puts out, okay. And what am I because there's a phrase called Schadenfreude, and I'm pretty sure everybody in the panel knows what it is, okay, and probably most of the people in the chat, okay. But for those who don't, Schadenfreude is the concept of enjoying someone else's suffering, okay, for whatever the reason is, whether you enjoying it should be considered ethically good or ethically bad or whatever, doesn't make a difference. That's the concept, okay. So I have immense Schadenfreude for all these ignorant ass motherfuckers who are doing the FAPO, okay, they fucked around and found out, okay,
Yeah.
for the like the farmers that are like, oh yeah, I voted for Trump because I want him to be strong on the border. And suddenly all their people are leaving. They're either being deported by ICE, okay, or they're not showing up to work. They're like, fuck you, we'll go to California or some other place where it's at least less likely to be hit by ICE. And so you're going to have crops rotting in the field. So if you motherfuckers think that the prices are high now, wait until like late summer, say July, early August, okay, when the harvests are supposed to start coming in, you're going to see prices fucking skyrocket.
Like yesterday in the or the day before in the grocery store, some guy was like, "Why are the bags so small in the chips aisle?" It was like, because one company owns 80% of the U.S. food market, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. And they don't want you to get sticker shock, so they make everything smaller.
One literally asked you that.
Or
no, he was commenting to his wife or his girlfriend, and I just decided to do a bit of communist education.
One of the brilliant, in my opinion, that doesn't get enough play, and I'm not lauding capitalism in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a capitalist. Yeah. One of the best advertising slogans I have seen comes from Pringles. Okay, because it's just 4 letters or 4 letters. It's just 4 words. That's all. We don't sell air. Because their canisters are full. Because I love Pringles. Okay, shout out to Pringles, even though these suck. Capitalist company, but they're no ethical consumption or capitalism. But anyway, so production. Their canisters are full from bottom to top with chips. Okay, you buy a big ass fucking bag of Lay's, which I also like. Okay, by the way, people don't know it. All Lay's potato chips are kosher. So anyway, you buy a big bag of Lay's, and it's probably.
I'm finding it hard to think of a way to make a potato chip be not kosher.
It was like $4 a bag or something like that, and half of it is air. What's that, John?
I was trying to think of a way to make a potato chip be not kosher, and I think the only way to do that would be to take the vegetable oil and add pig fat.
So first of all, it depends upon the oil that's used, okay? Because you can't use an oil. You have to use an oil that's vegetable based, okay? You can't use lard, for example, or anything that has any sort of animal ingredients with it.
Well, I mean, the fact is they wouldn't use a fat because that would be fat. They would use vegetable oils anyway.
Right. Well, vegetable oils are fat. They're just vegetable.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just that animals have fat and vegetables have oils.
Right.
It's
but
just
you
the melting
also
point.
you can't make, for example, say Lay's, okay, versus some other brand, okay. And say the second brand is kosher, but for some reason they use lard or whatever, okay, because that's still kosher. It's just it's not okay. So trying to shorten this. Okay, so there's 3 branches of dietary segments in Judaism. Okay, and obviously the lesser strict you are, the lesser people, because they're like, it goes humanist, which a lot of them are atheist Jews, and there are a lot of atheist Jews regardless of the sect, but from the most restrictive, it goes humanist, reform, Orthodox or conservative Orthodox, which I was, and then Hasidim, which we call the penguins. They're the guys with the curls on the side of their head and whatever. Okay, so
the diamond selling New York Jews.
Yeah, so if you make potato chips in a factory that has used lard or something in some way, shape, or form, that's non-kosher. Okay, because the kosher symbols are the U and the D. Okay, little circle on the bottom, somewhere on the bottom of the package, a circle, the letter U or the letter D with a circle around it means that they're kosher. But the 3 segments are parv, fleischig, and milchig. Okay, and the milchig is dairy. Okay, fleischig is flesh or meat. Okay, and then parv is whatever is not those. Okay, but fish is also considered parv. Okay. And then also up until the 17th century, turkey and chicken were considered parv. They were not considered meat. So the rabbis got together and had a meeting and whatever.
But religion
that's
is stupid.
That's a 3 segments. A few years ago,
because like fish and chicken and turkey are all obviously from creatures. Which is meat.
Yeah.
Like,
well, a few years ago, this is like 2000. Let's see, I was still with Benjamin, so it would have been 2007. The rabbis in Israel, in their infinite wisdom, or lack thereof, decided that giraffes were kosher. Okay, because in order for a meat animal to be kosher, okay, it has to have hooves, split hooves, and chew its cud. So like pigs have split hooves, can't talk, but they don't chew their cud. Okay.
So bear meat isn't kosher.
Right. Sharks are technically not kosher, but they are at the same time, because in order for fish type food to be kosher, it has to have gills and fins. Excuse me, fins and scales. Okay. Now sharks do have scales, it's just they're so tiny and they're so embedded in the skin that you know a shark's skin is kind of like sandpaper. This is why clams and lobsters and whatever are not kosher. Okay. But
The clams aren't even fish.
They're mollusks.
I know, but they kind of they kind of go together. But so they consider themselves they consider giraffes kosher. And when they did that, a lot of people thought, well, why are they eating giraffes? And you know how Americans are, okay? If it's cute, we can't eat it. If we don't care cute, we don't care what it is, we're gonna kill it and eat it. So a lot of bacon every year, but no puppy bacon and no kitty bacon. Okay.
That's
so anyway, they
entirely
decided,
dependent on what tribe you are, because Lakota eat puppy.
right. So they decided that giraffes were kosher, okay, and it wasn't like they were going to make farms and sell giraffe meat, although they probably would. They have some farms over there. They probably would, like if a giraffe dies of old age or whatever, they're not going to waste it. But they sell the milk to high-end markets, okay, kind of like goat's milk or feta cheese or whatever. And I've always been curious as to what giraffe cheese would taste like.
Sounds
so weird. But yeah,
That would be weird.
yeah, that's like if I'm offered it, I'm willing to try it as well too. But like, yeah, religion, the rules and something like that. I can only speak from my experience of being Catholic as the Lord too. No, during Lent, in which we're in Lent right now, no meat except for the meat from the sea. And
we're still in Lent.
We're still in Lent.
It's 40 days.
How long?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was that long.
Yeah, well,
it's basically from St. Patrick's Day to taxes.
Christianity is right with the number 40. It's just absolutely enamored of the number 40. You got the 40 days of Lent, you got the 40 days of the ark being on the
40 days, 40 nights,
40 days of Jesus, in the desert, where he was tempted by Shaitan, etc.
And occasionally Christians will die because they try to do the 40 days of fasting that Jesus did, and you can't do that.
But they should do more, because if you truly believe, your God will support you and keep you alive, right?
Wasn't there a really popular African spiritual leader who just recently died trying to starve himself for 40 days?
There's actually been more than one, but one within the last year or two. I don't remember exactly when, but
I mean, you're talking about people who will occasionally literally let Jesus take the wheel and then crash their car.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to research this to see if it's true, but like I think that like the exception for meat from the sea was just because like a business as opposed to the fisheries were just like the fishermen would have been like out of business if like they actually did like follow that from land. But because of the arbitrary determination of what is counts as like a meat from the sea as were too, because they seen the world's largest rodent, the capybara, very cute animal, does spend a lot of time in the water as well too, around where they're from.
Anaconda, so
there were beavers in Europe.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there were ever beavers in Europe. I thought they were strictly North American.
They probably were killed by St. Patrick.
I can believe that.
Well, St. Patrick was English, and according to Mithril, the English killed beavers. So yeah, you're right. Isaiah, you had your hand up for a reason.
Yeah, I just actually remember what I was going to say earlier. So about Shaban reading books to escape traumatic times in her life. Her, right? Or they?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I did that. I did that when I lived with my father. I would always read books in the Bermuda Triangle because I was always, or the Bermuda Triangle or alien abductions, because I always just wanted to just get the fuck away from my dad and his family. So it was either can I be abducted by aliens or could I just disappear into a void, never to be, I don't know. So that's what I would read when I would live with my parents.
When
But
I was probably roughly the same age, my thing was two things. One was that I've always felt that I was a changeling, which in Celtic tradition is where the Fae will come and leave one of their babies in exchange for a human baby for some fucking reason. I don't know, maybe to be an accountant or something. I don't know. And I always felt, I was not because obviously I was undiagnosed with autism and ADHD and whatever other fucking things are going on in my head. But I just knew I didn't belong with these creatures called humans. They were utterly alien to me. And the other was, fuck, I had it in my head and I lost it. When you were talking about growing up, Isaiah, and you were talking about the losing yourself, so to speak, in the reading. God damn it. Go ahead, and maybe I'll remember it, maybe I won't.
that's all I had to say. Oh, learning different languages. So with German, I learned it from 99 Luftballons a little bit. And I can count from 5 down to 1 because in German because of
Und dann haben wir Zeit ist
das
99 Luftballons.
yep.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch ein wenig?
Ich spreche nur ein kleine Deutsch.
That was
I only speak a little German.
Actually, what you said was a small German.
A small German, yeah. And
Small
bisschen,
German.
that's the word. Bisschen.
Well, when I learned it, because I said pretty much the same thing you did, except ein Pfennig, okay, which is Pfenig, I believe is how it's spelled, is at the, of course I use euros now, but at the time it was the smallest German coin. It's like, it was the American equivalent would be I only speak a penny of English.
Yeah,
That's basically what it was.
Yes,
No,
I
it's
only
smallest German
just
coin
enough
is the
German
pound.
to I only speak enough German to order some food and ask where the bathroom is.
yes.
That's all you need
The
to know
two
in
most
any language.
important things you need to know in any
John ain't wrong. John ain't necessarily wrong.
I know where the bathroom is in Spanish, the Donde es baño.
Donde está el baño?
I had to memorize that.
Wo ist der Scheißehaus? Das Scheißehaus.
I did have to memorize how to correctly ask for the toilet in German for the German class. It took a year.
Wo ist dem Klo?
Or Scheißkopf, but enough about Trump. I had some words in Espanol for him too, that pendejo.
The city, are you trying to sneak into our Zoom call to speak something in Japanese? And did you learn all of that just from watching magical girl shows? Because I won't judge you for that.
Okay, so my youngest daughter is otaku. Okay, and for those who don't know what that phrase means, in the positive / beneficial version of it, it means that someone who loves anime is hugely overwhelmed and a huge fan, actual fanatic about anime. Okay.
I always thought otaku was like a white person who was just incredibly into Japanese culture.
Yes.
In Japan, it can basically signify the 30-year-old guy who lives in his mom's basement.
Yes.
That too. Yeah. So there's different meanings.
There's different ways of talking about it. The book World War Z had an otaku, basically a shut-in who his job was entirely online, so he could enjoy anime all the time.
But she speaks Japanese. She can't write kanji. She can't write kanji for shit. Okay. But we've had conversations. Okay, because like I said earlier, my daughters and I both have had conversations about whether they're geeks or dorks or nerds. So we've had conversations, my daughter and I, where no, we look down on dweebs. Sorry, God. Where she's speaking Japanese, which I don't speak a fucking word of Japanese. No, I think is sayonara, I think, a word in Japanese? I can't remember.
Yes, that's goodbye.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. That's all I speak, Japanese. Okay. Sayonara. And I speak in Spanish, which she doesn't speak. Okay. And so we're pretending to yell at each other. We both have, neither one has a clue what the other one is fucking saying. Okay. We just have fun doing it. You know, she loves languages as much as I do.
I know Ohio gozaimasu, Papa-san.
Sure. What you say.
My dad taught me that one.
Gesundheit.
That's German again.
It's German for I hate you.
Okay, so what popped in my head? So I can't remember.
Actually, German for I hate you is the Hasidik.
There was a website that had this a long time ago. So obviously, some of the things you should not do to the audience. Let me repeat: you should not do because they will get you in trouble. However, I think it was something cow.com, like revengecow.com or something like that. Okay, so what it was things that you could do. Like, for example, you could write to the IRS with your neighbor's name and your neighbor's address as the return address, whatever, okay, and maybe type a letter, okay, stating that you were a sovereign entity and were therefore no longer required to pay taxes, okay. You could write a letter to the DEA asking them what the impound tariff was on 2 pounds of cocaine imported for medicinal use. Or this is back in the day when they had a lot of like free news, and I'm sure they still do, but to some extent, but a lot of free newsletters and, you know, stuff like that. You know, you could write in somebody else's name again, especially if they were bigoted. Can't say that I've done this. I would never do anything like this. No, not me. For a particular individual, write to queer organizations and ask for free subscriptions in their name to go to their mailbox. I would never do something like that. No, not me.
Well, there is a modern tradition of swatting people.
Right.
Yeah.
There's that. Yeah. That's
Pretty sure a far right-wing guy got swatted recently.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. You know, I would
Didn't
never.
MTG get swatted like 3 times now?
Hope so.
She did. Not that I'm necessarily, you know, sad about that, but I didn't know that she did.
Yeah. Oh,
In the news, MAGA influencers are being swatted.
She needs
And
to
Marjorie Taylor Greene is among them.
did you guys hear what she did with that British reporter? She was like, "Oh, you need to go back to your country. We don't answer your questions."
You need to go back to your country. She needs to go back to hers, whatever one she is from.
How about you go back to
Estonia
Georgia,
or
Marjorie?
wherever.
Joey and I have had this conversation many times where you'll see someone on the. In fact, we did this for one show that I had where showed a picture of 3 indigenous people standing in front of. There's a platform where you have a telescope so you can look at Mount Rushmore because it's actually way fucking tiny. You know, a lot of people don't realize that compared to what it actually looks like.
I believe you mean Mount White.
White supremacists.
Now,
So
Not
there's
appropriation.
of 3 individuals standing there looking at the camera, but reaching back and flipping the bird. Okay. And more than one person, to their chagrin, Jacob Wool was one. There was another conservative. I can't remember who it was. Basically said, you know, they should go back where they came from.
okay.
And they're like, those are indigenous people. They came from here long before you motherfuckers did.
Yeah,
Okay, so what are you gonna do? Send me back to Siberia? You know, before the land bridge existed?
Well, then how about you go back to Europe, motherfucker? How about that?
And if you go back even further, they would have to go back to Africa because you. Oh,
Yeah.
This whole thing
but
right
you had
here,
your hand up, Isaiah.
oh yeah. Oh, language.
It happened again.
Languages. Does anyone speak Dutch?
No,
Is
I speak
Dutch
Deutsch.
is that like a form of German? Because I've always
It is a distinct,
related
but
to
closely
German.
related.
yeah,
okay.
it's Teutonic, but it's not German.
Because I've always wanted to know what KLM stood for. You know, the Dutch National Airline. I've always wanted to know what that how you pronounce that acronym. Because I can't for the life of me pronounce that.
Probably KLM.
I don't know. Not a clue.
Let's see.
I have no idea what it stands for.
Hold on.
Koninklijke Luchtvaartmaatschappij.
Oh, beat me
Royal
to it.
Aviation Company.
He beat me to it. God damn it. I was gonna say Honey,
Koninglikje.
Cookie loser
Koninglikje.
motherfuckers.
Luchtvaart. Matt Shappy.
Okay, there you go. Close enough.
Close enough for government work.
Yeah, there you go.
There's like one topic I did kind of like well, I heard it on a podcast I listened to. I now added the Daily Zeitgeist into my rotation, but on their Monday show they talk about like how you can now do a payment plan on installments for paying for your DoorDash orders.
Oh.
I'm
So
guessing they
basically, you
charge
can't
interest.
afford your DoorDash order.
And you always just like, oh, that DoorDash order is probably like $30. Would you like what to pay for that DoorDash order in like 3 monthly installments of $10 or something like that?
Right.
Well, then why even have an order then?
But
So that poor
it's
people can have food and owe them money.
yes,
Right.
exactly.
Sorry.
What is happening in this world?
It's just
Capitalism.
Is the way capitalism screws the day.
I can
Is
CNN articles without them asking, "Hey, can you subscribe?" No. Can I just read the fucking article? God damn it.
No.
Hello, I'm
And
Captain
there's-
Capitalism. I'm here to save you. That'll be $10.
It's-
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, so DoorDash is partnering with like Clarana, which is the AI powered payment and commerce network. So AI is involved in this as well.
Ugh.
Of course it is.
Did you see where Elon sold himself to himself?
Yes, I saw that. I was like, how does he even get away with this kind of bullshit?
Well,
Jesus
because capitalism.
What did
you
he
know.
do? What did he do now?
Okay, so he
He
sold
sold
Twitter to
X
himself.
to his AI X.
I refuse to call it X. At the most, I'll call it shitter. But,
I've
it's
never.
because he
Well,
sold.
you could call it the Nazi hellscape formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, I could do that too, but that's too long. I just call it shitter. The
Yeah, but you're from like
he
the place
sold
where Prince is from.
shitter for 300 and some odd was it 300 some odd billion or $1 million, whichever one it was. I think it was billion.
33 billion.
Or 33 billion. Okay. He sold it to the AI company that he owns.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
not smart. He's not smart.
No, I disagree. I disagree. Well, I guess it depends on your definition of smart. It's obviously a good move for him financially. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because also I wonder now, because of that, what the stock of Twitter is going to do.
Mhm.
Nothing good. It's obviously a hellhole.
Well, I mean, as far as investors and stuff go, is that going to make this? I look at it both ways. It could either make the stock drop because of his his regular shit fuckery,
Mhm.
or a lot of high gains capital investors could think that for some reason that's going to make him money or help quote unquote save the company. Okay, so they may pump more money into it. So I can kind of see where it could go either way. Lynn says avoiding paywalls by copying the link into a command line browser. Yeah, speaking of which, there's also something else you can do. A lot of people don't know this. It doesn't work for every single link. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you're doing, say, you want to copy, say you want to, you see a meme on Facebook or you see a website on Facebook and you right click to open it up into another tab. Okay.
Mhm.
You want to share it, but you don't want to share Facebook because Facebook sucks because Mark Zuckerberg is a pedophile,
Mhm.
in Minecraft.
Wow, that's an
Yes.
And also because remember that Facebook no longer has fact checkers. Okay.
Yeah.
that one I
Mhm.
knew, but
anyway, so
where does
what
the
you do-
Mark Zuckerberg being a pedophile thing come from? I had not heard that
Oh,
one
that's
before.
because a lot of people are now posting that Mark Zuckerberg is a pedophile or that he's
Oh,
dead
right,
and-
because they don't have fact checkers. Okay.
Right. Okay. So what you do is you click this link, okay, which is say, I don't know, youtube.com, whatever, okay.
Mhm.
And then there's always a question mark, and then whatever all the garbage is after that. You can do the same thing for Amazon and whatever else. You click from the first question mark all the way to the right and
Mhm.
delete all of that. That will get rid of any of the additional ad crap and the whatever else, and you go to the actual link itself.
Hmm.
So,
So you just add a question mark?
I'll hold on a second. I'll type it out in chat, the regular chat, and I'll show you. Okay, so what?
Silence.
Yeah,
We're all being polite.
So
all that. It's this show.
We're
I thought-
waiting.
Yeah, we're waiting whatever. As if.
That is so not fetch.
Are we quoting wait, whoa, are we quoting like chick flicks? Cause don't get me started.
I love quoting chick flicks. I do everything I can to look like a dude bro, act like a dude bro, and then say the most not dude bro things.
Have you seen my poster in the back of my wall?
Like, oh my god, gag me with a spoon.
I still have not seen that. It's
That's the
dot
best
com,
way I
dot
can
com.
type it without it trying to show up a bunch of other BS links and whatever. But
So I guess
for example, you could if it was like say www.
So after the .com, you add the question mark and then everything else.
Wherever the question mark is, that first question mark, you start from the left, you swing to the right. Okay, which like most YouTube commentators.
No. Never swing to the right. Go hard left.
Exactly. But you go to the right until you find that first question mark. You left quick just behind the question mark, and then highlight all the way to the right to delete all the rest of that post. And you go back to the original content, whatever it is, whether it's an image or a website or whatever else. And that way you avoid a lot of this ad bullshit or like if I want to copy something, this especially works for Facebook. If I want to copy something from Facebook and post it, I opened it up from somebody else's Facebook timeline. Okay, but for some reason, whatever reason, I don't want to connect their timeline to it, either because I don't want to give them the props or because I don't want to out them necessarily. Okay, you can do all this and it will go back to the original content and it won't connect to Facebook at all. You can also then post it anywhere else you want. You can post on Blue Sky or Shitter or Instagram or whatever. Speaking of Shitter and Instagram, Blue Sky now has a sister program, I guess you could call it sister app, which it comes from Blue Sky, but it's not technically connected to Blue Sky, but it is. Some weird shit. But anyway, it's called Flashes, and it's basically Instagram, but the Blue Sky version.
I see.
They have it out in beta right now for iOS because Apple sucks ass. But then soon they're going to have it for Android, really soon. Okay, and then relatively soon after that they'll have it for desktops, for Macs and PCs and whatever. Okay, but it's basically Instagram. So you can do pictures and whatever. Like right now, excuse me, if you make a post on Blue Sky,
I will not excuse you.
if you make shut up, John. If you make a post on Blue Sky, you can post. You used to be able to post one picture, okay, and then whatever you wanted to write in the post, and you're still limited to 300 characters, which I wish they would change. You can now post like 8 pictures in that original post, which I think is a beneficial change. I wish that they, I've said this before, if they offered a premium Blue Sky, kind of sort of like what Shitter does, with the verified bullshit. Okay.
Oh yeah, the blue check mark thing.
But if they offered a premium for Blue Sky, okay, and let's say they offered it $10 a month, okay, my poor ass, even poor as it is because I love Blue Sky, I would figure out a way to pay $10 a month for it. Okay. And there are currently 35 million users on Blue Sky. Okay. The last I knew, which was a couple of days ago. 35 million users on Blue Sky. So if you consider, let's say, 10 million of those, okay, are willing to pay that $10 because it's $10. Okay. Now, granted, that's high for a lot of people, and I completely understand it because I'm poor as shit. But for a lot of people, that's nothing. Okay. So if you have 10 million users, that means that Blue Sky, then when they start that up, so let's say they started it up in 1st of August, because it's not something that can be started up like tomorrow.
Yeah.
That means that every month they would have a revenue of $100 million just for $10 a month. Why they don't do this, I don't know. Because, if you're going to do the whole capitalism thing, especially because there are a lot of, well, I don't want to say a lot. There are some right-wing trolls, and whatever on Blue Sky. It's hilarious that Laura Loomer got on there and got banned immediately. Like within an hour, she didn't even have, she hadn't even made a post at all, and she got banned.
Didn't that happen to libs of TikTok too?
Yeah, but it took them 9 days for that one. Pissed a lot of
Oh,
people
okay.
off on Blue Sky, but it took them 9 days for that one. But they did eventually get rid of it. But you do have some, they'll, you got scammers, you got, porn bots and whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
I, as a former sex worker, I also support sex workers, former or otherwise. And so if somebody follows my account, I got like coming up on 4,400 followers now. If somebody follows my account on there, and I always look, okay, because they'll announce it, like if you check it a couple times a day, which I do, they'll announce, and they'll show you who follows you, whatever, and I'll go to see if I need to give a follow back or if I need to block them or whatever. What's nice is if you block them, it doesn't reduce your follower count, which I think is hilarious. Okay. But at least currently. But so I'll go follow them, and if they're a porn bot, I just block them. Okay. But if they're an actual sex worker and it looks like they're a real person, whatever, okay, that's fine. I let them stay there. I think I'm following like 3,000 accounts ish. Some of them are follow backs. But yeah, so I have almost 4,400 followers. I would say probably a little over at the max 1,000 might be a combination of porn bots and scammers, and just people that are following me for hate follows and whatever, because there are some of those, okay, because I'm a mouthy bitch, which means that I still have roughly 3,000 followers that are genuine, actual people who follow me for whatever reason, okay. And Blue Sky is not 100%, but it's basically a lefty, tech, geek, nerd, science, artist, writer, sex worker, trans, queer space. For the most part, absolutely. And I follow a lot of people. I have two accounts. I have my comic account, and then I have my mouthy activist account. And on both of them, I follow a lot of science people. I follow Brian Cox and Brian Greene. Victoria Howard and Michio Kaku and Jim Al-Khalil and whatever, physicists and cosmologists, and whatever else, I have a blast on there. Let's see. Somebody said, I hate the in Minecraft things. It makes it harder to talk about actually doing crime in video games. Oh, yeah, that's a point. That's a point.
Isaiah, you have your hand up.
Repeatedly.
I just
go ahead. Sorry, I tend to ramble.
I had it up, but it disappeared. I don't know.
No, okay. I've been just trying to clear it. So just yeah, sorry. I notice it, but I wait for Siobhan to shut up. Which obviously isn't going to happen. I should just interrupt her.
You can't do that. You have to interrupt me.
So anyway, Isaiah.
No, I just wanted to end on a kind of like a I guess more happy note, I guess.
Sure, let's do that.
I was thinking about writing a comedy movie one day about me winning the lottery, winning $50,000, winning the lottery, 50,000, and then fantasizing about taking a supersonic trip to London for on vacation, but I can't do that unless I go back in time because the Concorde doesn't fly anymore. So I kind of wanted to make like a weird comedy about this like working class kid gets a lottery ticket that then he can then go back in time and fly supersonically to visit England. I don't know. So I was just thinking about that.
Okay.
I flew on the Concorde once.
Just so you know, Isaiah, I've written movie scripts. And I know some free script writing software. If you want, I can.
I use so the movie I'm writing now is called Me Script. I'm actually using that.
Okay.
Can I share my my script with you later, Siobhan?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not feeling good enough to be on camera or whatever. Believe me, I look like a hot mess. But yeah, I'm going to be online for a while. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll just drop it in your messenger. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else has happened this week or something like that? Because Yeah, that's a lot of terrible things going on with administration. That they deporting people just because of like tattoos that they were having. It happened to be brown skin, so they assumed that like they were gang members, even though one of them was the Autism Speaks or the Autism Awareness or Acceptance like tattoo. Uh,
I think at this point, people who are disabled may need to start buying guns.
Probably. Well, actually, you know what? Javon, the post that you made on Facebook remind me. Oh, that's right. Next month. I apparently looked it up. April's a lot of months as well too. I guess you can do this for like any month, and it's just like, and you see that April is like stress awareness month. It's like, okay, yeah, I can see that as well too. April is also Black Women's History Month. Okay, we had Black History Month. March is like so Women's Month or Women's History Month, and Black Women's History Month in April. Oh, it's also Confederacy History Month in April too. So it's just like, wow. Remember, go through the history of the Confederacy of all the battles they lost and all the times they lost. And remember, the Confederacy still lost as well too.
Y'all should look up on YouTube. There is a cartoon. I cannot remember the name of the channel, but if you look up the phrase, give me a second here. It's states' rights, and then it's like why do you want states' rights, or what are the states' rights for? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a cartoonist who did a great takedown on some guys talking, with a mustache and that southern accent, and he's talking about, how the war between the states is just, for states' rights, and the guy interrupts and says, "What do you want the states' rights for?"
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah,
What do you want
that's
states'
the
rights
thing.
for? Anyway, so he does a great takedown on that too. Yeah, and the Confederacy can suck my ass.
Yeah.
I don't
Confederate
want.
flag should be a white handkerchief.
I don't-
Excuse you, Siobhan, but the Confederacy won the Civil War.
I don't want to be
Confederacy
enslaved.
what?
Won the Civil War. Take a look at the U.S. and tell me they didn't win.
Well, there's that. But it's like
No, I
it's a-
disagree. I
I
disagree.
don't want to
They
be,
lost the war. They won the peace. That's the way I would.
I don't want to be enslaved, but that's just me.
Mm,
Yeah, same.
I
but
mean,
anyway,
slavery ended in 1865, and then it started back
Well,
up
except
again in
for the
1876, and then it ended again in 1942, and started up again in 1968, and it's still going strong.
Right.
Yep.
The Confederacy won the war.
Oh, also, by the way, for I'm sure that the panel will agree with me, because if you don't, fuck you. But and I'm sure the people in the chat and a lot of people watching will as well. But I will try to say this as calmly as I can, and as at the same time as emphatically as I can. Okay, so the Irish were not ever slaves.
Nope. They were colonized.
Yes,
They were
oh,
genocided.
absolutely. And believe me, because I could do an 8-hour show on the English and how they can go fuck themselves.
You could do an 8-hour show on a random stream of thought.
Well, that's true. And I also wanted to talk to Geek later, maybe, because I know you did the charity stream, which I thought was awesome, by the way, on Twitch. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But maybe some Sunday, if you don't have to work that day or whatever, if you wanted to start a little earlier, like say noon, noon. You know what? You don't want to do it like 6 o'clock in the morning, but noon or whatever, and then maybe do a 12-hour stream. You and I, and then whoever else wants to pop in and out, and whatever. Because I can talk for myself for hours. So
Yeah, I'll think
and we
about
can
it.
do it for charity for something.
Well, all my streams on Twitch are like fundraising streams because I am constantly trying to like fundraise for like my friends in need of like Joanna and Phoenix as well too.
Yeah, Joanna and Phoenix and etc. Yeah.
Yeah, because like because like if I honestly could just like show up to work for whatever reason, clock in and be like collecting overtime pay for just like being on the clock, something like that, I would do that. And I had done that before, but like no, my manager complained. It said like we got to talk to that and talking about my excessive hours as well too. So there were like it was like months and months, almost years, where it's just like I would like do social justice Alchemy, but then just after the show's over, just like get into like work for like just a few hours and then come home.
Right.
But yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna like my stream later on today on Twitch is just gonna be me playing like a Grim Dawn as well too. So since I have it downloaded, I don't have all the. I don't.
Before,
I don't.
before you,
I-
before you go, John,
Mhm.
Jonathan, I just only need $4 because I need to get chips and a drink for this movie I'm fixing to watch. That's all I need.
Okay.
$4. That's it.
Interesting.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
start a TikTok. It's just gonna be me uploading like 9-second clips of me looking confused. Man lost in his apartment.
Mine would probably be something like, I know it's in here somewhere. Because I've told people, because
That's what she said.
I'm AUDHD, and this is that's true. I'm AUDHD, and this is how AUDHD works in my brain. Okay, if you ask me, do you have a can of green beans? I don't fucking know. How the hell would I know? But if you ask me if you had a can of green beans, where would you put it? And I would say it's in the middle shelf on the right-hand side on the top row in the back. I have what's called a lot of people do object impermanence. Okay, which is where if you don't see it, it's literally out of sight, out of mind.
So
okay,
you get to play the peekaboo game.
Yeah, exactly. So I've gone to the store, made a list. If I don't look at stuff, in my cupboards, whatever, I've gone to the store, come back, and I buy shit that I didn't need, and didn't buy shit that I did need. So this is why, for example, I have 3.5 bottles of paprika in my cupboard, because I've been gonna make deviled eggs. Or I had this conversation with Joey a while back. I decided I wanted to make pineapple upside down rum cake. Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Good. Right. Okay. So I bought a bottle of pineapple rum, and it sat in my house for like 6 months or so, unopened. So I was at the store one day, and I thought, I was thinking about buying, making pineapple rum upside down cake, and I need some stuff, so I bought a bottle of pineapple rum. So now I have 2 bottles of pineapple rum sitting in my cupboard that have been there for 2 years. Neither of which have opened, but the one I can tell it must have a slight opening or something because it's evaporated.
I judge you so hard.
I do the same thing.
And the last thing is, I'm going to give you all what I call my quad 2 recipe. Okay, for making any sort of booze you want, any sort of flavor you want. Okay.
Yep.
And so you get a large plastic container. It has to be plastic, Tupperware, Rubbermaid, whatever. Okay. And you put in it 2 cups of fruit, whatever kind of fruit you like. Okay. And obviously, if you want to do more, you can double the proportion sizes or whatever, but 2 cups of fruit.
Yeah. Okay.
And you put in 2 cups of sugar.
Yes. Okay.
And then you cover that up to 2 inches above the level of the fruit and sugar. Okay. With whatever alcohol you want.
Okay. Yeah.
You loosely cover it with saran wrap, and you stick it in your fridge for 2 weeks. You don't put it on your counter. You stick it in your fridge for 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay.
And then you uncover it, strain it, eat the fruit. Once you wake up from your alcoholic coma, okay.
Yes, I was about to
so you can make like strawberry tequila, or I love tequila rose, but strawberry tequila, or pineapple Jack Daniels, or whatever. Doesn't matter the fruit. You can make apple something, whatever. And obviously also the fruit will have the alcohol in it as well. You can put it in a punch or something.
Yeah.
See you later, Mithril.
Oh, bye, Mithril.
Oh, and it is 3:30. So
Yes,
we should all be leaving.
I got a lot of work to do, guys. Later.
We should be like Mithril and Brexit.
Bye, Isaiah.
Bye, Isaiah.
Bye,
Isaiah.
Bye, Jonathan. Bye, Shaban. Bye, John.
I'll hit you up later tonight, Isaiah.
All right, I'll send what I got. It's not finished, but it's like 13 pages. I'll send you what I got.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So
it took half an hour to write. It'll take half an hour to film.
Meanwhile, my dumb ass is waving to Isaiah like he can see me on the camera when my camera's shut off.
I do that all the time too.
I haven't taken my meds at all yet today, so yeah.
At least you so long as you still have your pill box used, and like then you were like
organized, whatever. And also I talked to Joey. I had a medication change, which if I don't operate it exactly according to the doctor's orders, and I understand why, and I will, okay, because I'm not like to be like I do my research. No. But it is there's a potential of fatality involved, so I'm pretty careful with what I have to do with it. So I'm gonna head out because everybody says they're leaving and you know they're not leaving yet, and that's my shtick. Okay, you can't steal my shtick, so I'm gonna head out.
You're doing the goodbye.
I am the Angry Wrench on YouTube. Angry Wrench Speaks. Excuse me. I am the Angry Wrench Speaks on Blue Sky with my mouthy ass account. I also have a comic strip called The Existential Cafe about gods and their minions that hang around in a lounge up in the clouds. You know, there's Satan and Yahweh and Odin and Persephone and Hecate and Cthulhu, and I have occasional guest spots like so far I've had Christopher Hitchens stop by. Who was the other one? Oh, Hemant Mehta, okay, the friendly atheist. And I because I'd written a script a long time ago, and I wrote it, you know, did the script, whatever, and then I tagged him.
He responded. I saw that.
Yeah, and I was not expecting. I kind of geeked out, you know, when he responded. But he's like, something. I don't remember exactly what he said, but something along the lines of, "So you tagged me? Thanks, I think." You know, and but it was, it was a good, beneficial one. He whipped ass in it. And I also have like a sticker. It's on my Blue Sky that I sell.
I mean, we're talking about him at Meta, so he noticed something other than Survivor. So.
Yeah, and we'll have to get into sometime his discussion of Jainism and his parents and stuff, because I saw that and it was pretty cool. Quite a few years ago, it was pretty cool. Anyway, so that's me. Where the fuck?
Yes, we will blame Jonathan. No, we'll blame John Brockman. I'm Jonathan. We'll blame me. Yes, we will blame me.
Blame Scarlet Pimpernel. You're everywhere, so it's all your fault.
Hey, all you Johns look alike anyway.
No, that's true.
Oh, that's racist.
No, that's
racist against the Scots.
Point of view. That's coming from a sex worker point of view. All you motherfuckers look alike to me anyway.
That's true. We both have white penises as well too. So like,
well,
we're into
dick,
things.
Dick is dick is dick. It all tastes the same. Same for pussy. So all right.
Well, what about the mouthfeel?
Huh?
What about the mouthfeel? Oh my god, I remember.
What about the what?
Mouthfeel.
Oh, that's a deep cut
the
to
mouth
like 7 years ago with Natalie.
ContraPoints.
Oh,
after she transitioned, she talked about the changes to the penis that came with hormone.
I can't stand that fucking twunk. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it all tastes the same. I'm omnisexual, so whatever. Parts, not parts.
Yep.
My last point, I am mad at Jason Momoa and Lucy Lawless because they have not yet returned my phone calls. I don't know why the hell that is. Just because I want to be the communal bottom and cook in a poly with them, a girl can dream.
See, Lucy Lawless is definitely awesome. Jason Momoa, I heard, was kind of a douche on the set of Aquaman to Amber Heard.
I haven't heard that. I mean, it could be. I don't know.
Was it Amber Heard? But he tore the last pages out of the book she was reading just to be a dick.
Oh, it could be. It could be.
He was also in one of the Fast and Furious movies, so that's a black mark against him.
Yeah, that's that too. But here's my take on that. He doesn't have to. All he has to do is look pretty and do right and shut his mouth.
And he definitely did that in Game of Thrones.
Right. Men been saying that about us for, that was a good one too. Men been saying about that us for years, so I'm returning the favor. Anyway, I'm going to head out. Thank you for letting me be on the show. I appreciate it.
Always.
You're
welcome.
problem.
But I'm going to be more diligent about telling you to shut up so that Isaiah can talk.
Yeah, you have to interrupt me. You have to interrupt me. Talk over me. Okay?
I don't have anything to say.
Well, you in the past, you had your hand raised for like 5-10 minutes. Well,
I'll hit you up later.
Went off on whatever.
Love y'all. Peace.
Later.
Later.
All right. Put the links to like the mouthy bitches links into the live chat as well too. Isaiah Taylor, I put your Instagram of the cosplay crafts into the live chat as well too. Joey, do you have anything to promote quickly?
Heck no.
Okay. No problem.
And they say you don't sound enough like a res person. That no was definitely a res no.
I'm Summer Geek on all the social medias and like Blue Sky, Twitter, Tumblr, Threads. Yeah, and I'm Summer Geek on YouTube. I posted a YouTube video on Friday, so it's doing well. And I am Summer Geek on Twitch. I have cleared my follower goal of getting 666 followers.
Nice.
So I'm going to play a demonic game later today of Grim Dawn to like celebrate the occasion as well. Though my next follower goal is 690. Nice. And John Brockman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Dungeons and Debacles. We may get to play this week. Waiting to see if my
Nice.
DM is online. It's raining, so a mud elemental will probably attack his house or something.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
He lives in North Carolina. That sort of thing happens.
Oh, yeah, that does. And don't forget the charity links page. If you have extra money and you don't have mind given to people in need, check out their charity links page. But yes.
All right. And with that, goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.